Groove City.
Hey, what's up? I'm Lefty.
You know, it's your boy Rich Furniss.
And welcome to Groove City, where we bring you some undiscovered, up-and-coming, and talent you may already know to the forefront here so we can share some knowledge with you people. Today, we are very excited to bring to you our new guest here, Nicole Fiallo, from right here in Brooklyn, New York. Welcome to Groove City. How are you doing? How you feeling?
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me today.
It is absolutely our pleasure. Small fun fact, you are from Miami originally, and when we first met, we were chatting about that, how we both grew up in South Florida. How long have you been in New York now?
6 years now.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
And you
good
love it,
milestone.
can't live anywhere else, right?
That's right. Well, except for Europe, but that's
Oh,
later.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
later.
Later
That's
in life.
That's actually where you go from here, I
right,
think.
right. It's like
Yeah.
the stepping stone.
What brought you to New York?
So fresh out of high school, 2014. I just aged myself. That's okay. I did a music production course in a place called Dubspot. I don't know if you guys
Oh
remember
yeah,
Dubspot.
we have some affiliates. Some of the people who work here used to work over there.
Ancient now, but
Yeah.
it was super popular back then. My mom dared me. Like she literally was like, I dare you.
I like your mom already.
Yeah.
She's like, I dare you go to New York for 3 months and do this course. So I'm like a homebody. I love to be at home. I love to be comfortable. So to do something like that for me was like
Out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
crazy. And I hadn't been to New York since I was like 5 years old.
Oh wow, so it was like straight like
Yeah.
dive in.
And I did it. I said, all right, let's go. Let's take the leap.
Oh, yeah.
And I did a Logic production course. I learned ins and outs of Logic. And
You logic people.
Yeah, ins and outs is right too, by the way, because your production is nasty.
Thank you.
Spot
Thank
on.
you.
Super
Thank you.
talented
Thank you. Thank
producer. Super impressed by the stuff you've been putting out.
Thank you.
But continue on with your story.
But yeah, so it was a little rough at first. I was by myself here, no family, no nothing. But after I would say like month number 2, I'm like, whoa, like this city is. I was living in Midtown, you know,
Okay.
right in the smack of everything, and I fell in love with it. And I didn't really notice it until I went back to Miami. And after being back in Miami about 2 weeks or so, I'm like, oh, I gotta go back. I gotta go back. And
It's an addicting city.
it is. It took me like 2 or 3 years to get back here, but now that I'm here, like I said, other than going to Europe,
It's the only
is
place.
it.
I don't think I can
New
leave.
York or nowhere.
Yeah, it sucked me in.
Did you produce or DJ before you took that class or?
So I DJ'd. I had been DJing since about 2011. Production, I was just like, I wanted to produce. I didn't really know like what to do. So I took that course kind of like a stepping stone. And the course was really focused on Logic, learning how to operate Logic. It wasn't so much so production, but I'm thankful all the time that I took that class because it gave me the knowledge that I needed to now sit into a DAW and be able to produce. So,
Yeah, put your ideas down
Yeah,
on paper,
yeah,
essentially,
so-
right? That's amazing. And then, that's it. You just learn the technical side of it, and then have just been able to fully express yourself and crush these tunes.
I
'Cause-
really wish it was that easy. Really wish.
Give us the realness.
Yeah. So that was in 2014 that I took that class, and I didn't start really releasing and I always like to say like making decent tracks that I was like,
Yeah.
all right, don't freaking hate this.
Yeah.
I didn't start until pandemic, really. Like pandemic, I was able to shut off from the real world, adulthood, and
Yeah.
just kind of work on music all day long. And that's when the gears started turning. That's when the little light bulbs started
Yeah.
going off. And I'm like, wow, like I made an edit to when Bill Withers, they announced that he passed away. I made an edit to his Lovely Day track.
Oh hell yeah.
And I remember I worked on it like all through the night, went to sleep. And you know, most of the time you work on something, you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, this is awful.
Yes.
But for the first time ever, I put the headphones on. I'm like, wait, this actually kind of sounds pretty decent. And the rest was history from
Nice.
there. Like,
I feel like the pandemic did that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like I was making what I thought were decent tunes at the time. I don't know, looking back, I actually did a flashback over the weekend, but it gave me the time to focus every day on, like you said, escape adulthood. Like where
Yeah.
I was like, I was at least starting I was starting one new track every day just to like find a sound and find stuff that I really loved. And I think it gave a lot of people that opportunity.
yeah.
Were you musical before that? Like, did you play an instrument or anything?
So I never played an instrument, but I loved music. Like it runs deep in my family. My grandpa in the 50s, he was a singer in Cuba. He used to sing in like bars and stuff. And then he passed that musical love down to my mom. And like I remember just as a kid, any point of time, my mom was always blasting music.
Yeah,
Spanish
same.
music, disco, freestyle, like.
Oh,
so
see, that would have been way cooler than my growing up, which is just Gypsy Kings and Julio Iglesias.
I would have loved that too. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I got the most ripping Julio Iglesias disco playlists. He's
That's-
got some unbelievable hits.
oh, you gotta share that with me.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, she kind of passed that love on to me, and you know, I was the kid that had thousands and thousands of illegally downloaded songs on their computer, and like I was just always had my headphones in, like listening stuff. My mom's always yelling at me, Nicole, take your earpods out, take your earpods out. And then it just naturally kind of led me to DJing, like.
Yeah, so like what influences, or I guess which artists were influencing you to start making dance music? Do you think like when you were first like, okay, I took my Logic course, I'm gonna start actually making music now, like this is who I'm inspired by?
So I think first go back to DJing, like what inspired me DJing. Like I started kind of open format, like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And then I started, my cousin and her boyfriend at the time, now husband, they kind of were like, come on, like let's go to the dark side. Like let me show you what the good stuff is. They took me to Ultra my first year. Back then I used to like EDM, you know, Afrojack, Swedish House Mafia, but then they would take me to like, what was the Resistance tent back then? It was like the Carl Cox tent, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I saw Carl Cox, I saw Loco Dice, and I'm
Fire.
like, this is
it right here.
This is what I gotta be making. So yeah, I would say Loco Dice, definitely. Teeny, Marco Carolla, that was Martinez Brothers when they were like first really blowing up, was around that time too. So I'd definitely say them, yeah, for sure.
Amazing, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
And so now you've just been crushing it in New York. You play around a lot and are playing really huge venues. I see all these videos and stuff on your Instagram.
Trying.
Killing it. You've been getting on a lot of shows. How's that been coming about? I mean, have you been working toward that so you can maybe share some knowledge on kind of the networking aspect of it to people who are trying to get on bigger shows and stuff like that?
I think it's patience, like a lot of patience. Like, I don't really have that a lot of the times.
It's tough to have when you're in the moment.
Yeah, you know, and you just have to understand, like, it all comes in time. You know, you have to put the work. I'm a strong believer that everything happens at the time that it does and when it's supposed to. And right now you might think you're ready for something. You might think you're ready to play a show every single week, but maybe you're not. And you know, like,
That's okay.
Timing comes when it's supposed to come. I've been able to network a lot, you know, meet a lot of great people, you guys included,
Likewise.
which has helped, you know. But it's just, you know, relationship building. I know everybody always says that, but it's true.
Yeah.
So true.
Did you start out like putting out a lot of mixes and things like that to try to get like when you first started kind of like I want to start playing out, you know, like getting connections to smaller clubs through friends and things like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Bars
Mixes
and stuff.
Mixes and stuff help a lot. It just shows like a presence on social media. If somebody looks you up, how do they know you're a DJ? Do you have mixes out? You know, I try now on social media to do like video mixes and post like clips up of me DJing, things like that. Just like social media is a really powerful tool now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Well, do you want to tell us about one of the songs you're going to be playing in the mix later? So you can give us a little
Definitely.
something to look forward to?
Definitely. I have a little number coming out on this pretty cool label, you know.
That's right. That's right.
It's called Quincy Boy Records, I think that's the name.
It sure is.
So yeah, I'll be definitely playing my upcoming tune.
That's right, rumba y soul.
Yes, there
and
you
a
go.
lot of your music is like Spanish inspired, Latin inspired, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which
That's
is very cool.
the roots, you know?
Yeah.
The roots. Yeah, definitely. Do you like a lot of Cuban music?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I love, you know, I can jam out to salsa music at any point of the
Yeah.
day.
Hell
like
yeah.
cleaning my house, dancing with my broomstick. Like that's definitely what happens.
Yeah.
Have you been
amazing.
able to now introduce your version of that music to like your family and stuff?
Yeah, so it's actually really great that you asked me that. So I just released a record end of January called Azuquita. So it samples a really popular salsa song called Azuquita Pa'l Café by
Yeah.
a group called El Gran Combo. So my grandpa, when he was alive, it was one of his favorite songs. My mom listens to the original track and like she tears up sometimes.
Nice.
I gotta say, I do too. That track, I made it specifically having him in mind.
That's
and like
love.
when I collabed on the track with somebody, I made like the original beat, but he kind of, beefed it up. And I remember when he first sent it to me, I literally had tears in my eyes, like chills, like,
That's
oh,
beautiful.
I know
Yeah.
Grandpa's up there just
Yeah,
dancing
man.
it
Yeah.
away.
Hell yeah.
And now, my grandma, she listens to it, she starts crying. I sample Celia Cruz, which she loves a lot too, and the same. So it's awesome. My family doesn't really like electronic music,
Yeah.
but to show them, like, look what I'm doing with it, they say they like it anyway.
It's like the next generation.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
I think it's beautiful because like in the same thing, like most of my family doesn't listen to stuff like that, but especially like earlier on in my career, like I was sampling a lot of music that I grew up with because I grew up with my mom's record collection,
Yeah.
which was very similar. And they never really understood what I did. They always, the wooka wooka,
Yeah,
the wooka
yeah,
wooka. And I sampled some of the stuff and like, oh wow, like this is really cool. Like I get into it because I think when people think of like EDM or house music,
Yeah.
or they'll call it like techno or something, not really knowing how to categorize
Right.
it. They think of like hard hitting
Yeah.
craziness, and it's like to put that spin on
Yeah.
part of your heritage and part of where you came from. I think is so important.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely have a Juan Luis Guerra bootleg. Maybe we
Nice.
could finish it together.
I'm down.
It's pretty banging and kind of right down your lane. So
Cool. Let's do it. Let's
should
do
definitely
it.
check it out. And it was also a sentimental song from my childhood. So that's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Not in the same way, but it's just a lot of memories attached to that.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So what's coming up next for you? Any gigs around here in New York, or any exciting things, releases coming up?
So gigs in New York, might be playing in Afters in a couple weeks.
Oh,
Best kind of gigs.
the
yeah.
best.
Where's that at? Tell us
So
about that.
there's this new venue called Home. It's super underground. Like I remember the first time I went, I'm like, is this even a venue? Am I getting kidnapped? Like what's happening?
Go down this dark alleyway.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have no
This
idea.
dark
Like,
door.
they
Holy
open
cow.
this like garage door, you walk in, and then they slam the garage door shut. You can't hear no music, you can't hear nothing, and you're like, oh, for sure, getting kidnapped. Like,
Yeah,
this is it.
dude.
This is
This is how I
done.
go.
But they're doing some awesome stuff. One of the owners, the wife, she is doing like an all-female party about once a month. Tomorrow night they actually have Remarkable in town.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. So they're doing it super underground, super
very
like,
well.
but it's awesome, super awesome.
Cool. Where is it?
It's close
You
by.
gotta bleep out the location. Man.
Yeah.
It's underground. Come on,
Is it?
dog.
It's
Yeah.
I say the close by. It's close by Brooklyn Mirage.
Yeah,
over
okay,
on
cool.
that edge. Yeah.
Cool, right by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now we all know.
It's actually my house.
Perfect. There you go. There you go.
Now you know. All right, I didn't want to let it out that way, but I am the owner of Home.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, and I'll be heading to Miami at the end of the month for music conference.
Hell yeah.
Playing a couple shows out there. So
Amazing.
super excited.
Which shows are you playing while you're down there?
So 2 label parties, Unlearned Records and Twisted Funk, and
Oh,
then
nice.
Friday I'm doing like a more chill rooftop session with a DJ named Patrick M. You probably know him.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
down there.
yeah.
Yeah. He gave me a lot of opportunity in the beginning.
That's love.
He's
Hell
always
yes.
kind of like taking me under his wing. So to be able to play with him again, it's been like probably like 6 years since I moved here. It's gonna be fun.
That's special.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
full
yeah.
circle.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dying to go back down to Miami and DJ. My very first DJ gig was down in Miami, and I haven't been back as Lefty yet. So
Where'd you play?
I don't think it's around any longer. It's
Most of the
called
venues.
yeah. So it was called Soho Lounge.
Oh yeah, I know
You
about
remember
it.
that
Yeah,
spot?
yeah.
Yeah. So my friend used to throw Fridays at Revolver.
Oh,
Ever talk about
nice.
that?
I don't know.
It moved from Soho Lounge to Pawn Shop when that opened
Pawn
up.
shop, yeah, that was huge.
It's
Pawn shop.
huge.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My friend was throwing like one of the biggest parties down there, and it was sick. I got my start there. It was all like new wave and like, back then it was like kind of some pop stuff, which was a lot of rock music, dance rock stuff was
Yeah, yeah,
happening, and a lot of new wave and 80s stuff, which was really fun. Very, very cool. So aside from your Quincy Boy release you're going to be spinning, what else can we expect to hear from your DJ set coming up?
So I got a couple nice funky stuff, house stuff. I'm gonna be playing a track by Bomb and Bastion Bucks. They just released on Edible. And you might know him. Pinto NYC.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got a record from him as well.
Sick.
Very cool.
Couple fun stuff.
Awesome. Well, really looking forward to hearing your set. I feel like that pretty much wraps us up here. Unless you have any other questions, Ricky.
Nah, I just want to go ahead and thank Sound Collective for having us down here. We're here at 28 Broadway, full facility music school. We have a couple different programs depending on what you're looking for: subscription and certificate courses online where you can go and learn any discipline, whether it be an instrument, production, DJ. We also have membership where you can come into the facility and use all of this beautiful gear. We have a recording studio. We have live streaming rooms, performance space. It's a really great place. We want to thank them for having us here for Groove City. For anybody who might want to find you in the future to book you on another amazing event, where can they find you on socials?
And Nicole Fiallo DJ on socials, Nicole Fiallo on SoundCloud, and I think that's all of them.
Sweet. Well, we're super looking forward to your set.
Yeah, 100%.
Make sure you guys click the link below. It should be in this playlist as well. Once again, I'm Rich Furniss.
I'm Lefty. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.